Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today our video is about Lucknow Pact and Khilafat movement. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you like it. So Lucknow Pact, we are going to start with the Lucknow Pact of 1916, which is the joint session. So Lucknow Pact, it was an agreement reached between Indian National Congress and Muslim League at the joint session of both parties, and it was called as Lucknow Pact because it is held in Lucknow in December 1916. So what was the demand of Lucknow Pact? So in this Indian autonomy increase means there's increase of Indian involvement in British administration, as in 1909 and 1892 Act there's increase of seats in imperial legislation and executive for the Indians only, not for the Muslims. So this increased involvement in Indians in Indian governance. Second is the representation of Bengal and Punjab, provinces where Muslim and Hindu majorities or minority representative. So these are the Rewan people come from UP, thus UP Madras, where there is 14% Muslim but represent as 30%, and Mumbai over represent, while Bengal and Punjab where 55% but represent as 50% underrepresent. Besides, they are Muslim majority. They both countries, UP and Punjab, are Muslim countries. So importance of Lucknow Pact is that 75% freedom movement, that it is based on similar deputation and boundaries of Lucknow Pact. So 75% freedom movement is freedom movement role is played by the Lucknow Pact till 1947. Qaidism role in it is as a bridge between Congress and Muslim, thus named as Hindu-Muslim Unity Ambassador. In 1909, there is a joint conference. In 1913, there is a joint Muslim membership. In 1906 to 20, there is a member of both. So the historical background of Lucknow Pact is that Qaid-e-Azam had begun his career as a legislature in 1903, where there are among 6 seats, and in one Qaid-e-Azam was seated. He selected by All India Muslim League to end differences with Congress. It was the first objective of All India Muslim League. He approved bill which was named as Barful Alal Ulad. He could overturn a ruling of the Privy Council in 1894 by successfully piloting Legislative Council, the Muslimul Alp, violating Act 1913. So second is the 1914 World War Global Effects Zone. In 1915, there is Legislative Council 1909 Act, where 27 seats to India was given, and in 1906 given to separatists. And in 1915, the two sessions held in Mumbai of Congress and All India Muslim League, and in 1916, the joint session of both how to come in administrative units and to increase seats in 1909 Act. So what were the demands of Lucknow Pact 1969? In 1892 Act there was a 5 seats of Indians. In 1909 Act there are 6 Sikhs, one in India, one is of Indian. In 1916, Lucknow by joint session oversee both 1892 and 1909 Act that seats to be given, increased to seats to be given in executive. The result of it is 1919 Act. In 1919 Act, 50% seats to executive was given, and 3 seats are given to Indian and 5 are given to British. So in 1935 Act, executive seats are given. After that, Pact Congress accepts separate electorate of Muslims because politician or of moderate level, and they accept minorities. And then executive council seats demand 50%, legislative council seats demand 50%, and judiciary when 80% seat is legislative council. So in 1892 there are 4 to 6. In 1909 there are 60 seats. But in next reform there are 150 seats. Decision making power, but British was gone to British. But British response is that they flourished democracy with bicameral legislation in 150 seats. Indian Legislative Council has 145 seats, and Council Senate of State has 34 seats, among which 34 are Indians and 26 are British. So in wake of judiciary, there is separation of judiciary and executive. Besides this provincial assembly, India elect governor general of provinces, and foreign exchange and custom overseen by the governors of their provinces. And Secretary of State, which is named as council, is approved by governor general, and council or appoint two assistant of Secretary of State. One of them is British, and second of them is Indian. And they have a right of discussion of a bill in assembly. It is right of adjustment and supplementary questions right, followed by oral question that may be asked during ministerial session in the hours. So the response was the ethical issue. Next is the Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement is an emotional and realistic non-cooperation movement because of division and unity. It was of 1918. There are two domain in Khilafat movement. Domain one is All India Muslim League, a silent Congress Gandhi support, and British decided not to accept Khilafat movement demand. And domain two is the communal political conservative elements of Khilafat movement. It was an agitation by Indian Muslim allied with Indian nationalism in the years following World War One. Hindu-Muslim unity lost. Turkish side lost, and Ottoman Empire collapsed. British captured the Ottoman Empire, and Khilafah of Turkey was dethroned. So Muslims of India were grief stricken. Muslims feared to become like terror. Its purpose was to pressurize the British government to preserve the authority of Ottoman Sultan. So Khilafat Committee was built to support the National Congress. Maulana Shaukat Ali was the general of that, and objective is to protect the holy place of Muslims, to defend Khilafat, and to protect Ottoman Empire. So the delegation of Sayyid Salman and the Sayyid Salman Nadwi led to Europe Parliament to convey their objective. But the Khilafat movement was failed. Delegation was failed. Demands were rejected. But 30,000 supporter of Khilafat movement were arrested. Gandhi withdrew from Khilafat movement after Chora Churi incident in 1924. Turk announced end of Khilafat movement. So the benefits were the only benefit from Khilafat movement was it organized the Muslims. So disadvantages that advantage one was only one, that it organized Muslims. Disadvantages was a Hindu-Muslim clash happened because of Chorachuri incident and Sikh dispute in Kohat, and 117 clashes were reported. And second is the Hijrat movement launched. Why? Because objected to protect religious rights. In 1920, renowned Muslims signed the Fatwa. Central office was established to motivate Muslim refugees in Afghan face miserable condition. Then British introduced Simon Commission of 1927 and Congress immediately rejected to want independence as self-determination demanded whole world. And Simon Commission has 6 British and one who is the leader named as Simon. So Qaid-e-Azam 33 Muslim member of assembly meeting in Delhi happened, and Delhi Muslim proposal has happened.